Morning. Good morning. Coffee? Let me answer that question for you. I think yes. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely coffee. I think that's the answer. Most definitely coffee.
Yeah.
How y'all doing? Good morning. Here we are in May 7th. This is the first show of May, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first show of May.
It's the May Day show.
It's the May Day
Even
show.
It's not May Day.
By the way, on Thursday was May 4th, so I got to hear all those jokes. Oh, May the 4th be with you. Arr! Those jokes are funny, but if you're a Star Wars fan, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. I've never seen Star Wars. The only time I ever saw Star Wars, my cousin Eric came to visit. I was pretty young. He really wanted to see Return of the Jedi. Went to the theater. I got scared. We left. That's the extent of Star Wars that I've seen. My knowledge of Star Wars comes from the Mel Brooks movie Spaceballs, which I love. And I don't get half the references as Star Wars references, but funny as hell from Mel Brooks. So anyway, why am I talking about this? That was Thursday. Nobody cares anymore. It's Sunday. It's May. The April showers have effectively sort of brought May flowers. Everything takes a little bit longer here in the Northeast Kingdom. Hey, we have a super cool show for you guys today. Singer-songwriter Sam Robbins is going to be on the show today. And I have been waiting to talk to Sam for a super long time. And it's happening today. In just a few minutes, in fact. You got your coffee back here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It's Brown and Jenkins is the name of the brand, but it's called Vermont Breakfast Blend.
Vermont Breakfast Blend. Brown and Jenkins. It sounds like a lawyer
It's
office.
Jeffersonville, Vermont.
Jeffersonville, Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds very
The coffee
lawyerish.
is very good.
Brown and Jenkins in Jeffersonville, Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like lawyers, but they're really good at making coffee.
Yeah, they are.
All right. On the show today, we have singer-songwriter Sam Robbins. We're going to chat with him. Sam, originally from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, now living in Nashville, Tennessee, and touring all over the United States. So I can't wait. I can't wait to chat with him. I can't wait to introduce him to you guys. We're going to have a great conversation. He's going to sing us some songs. That's all coming up, but it can't come up until we get the show started. So what I say is we get this party started. Yeah? Yeah? So grab yourself a cup of coffee. I'll be your Todd. Coffee with Todd starts right now. All right. Ah. Is there anything better on a Sunday morning than a cup of coffee? I don't think so. Maybe sleeping in. Well, I don't know. We haven't done that for over 2 years now. We only get to sleep in on Saturdays, and then we keep doing stuff on Saturdays, so we don't get to sleep in. It's ridiculous. I need a vacation.
Let's go back to Florida.
Let's go back to Florida. Busy, busy, busy. Speaking of busy, my guest today is singer-songwriter Sam Robbins, and he is busy, busy, busy. He is the winner of the Kerrville Folk Festival. He is the most wanted at Falcon Ridge Folk Festival this year, along with our good friend Shanna in a dress. And he tours all over the United States. He's opened for Ellis Paul recently. We know Ellis. And just all around good dude. And I can't wait to talk to him. So we're just going to start talking to him because I have a feeling that he and I are going to talk about a lot of stuff today. So, and we'll probably geek out over guitars too, because it looks like he got a pretty nice guitar. He's got, well, I'm going to play this video, and he's playing a Rain song, and I'm kind of curious about these. So I'm going to ask him. And I know Alan wanted me to ask about the tuning when I played this video last week. So we're going to ask him about that. We're going to ask him about a whole lot of stuff. So you ready? I'm going to get him on the line. In the meantime, we're going to play a video of his. And when we come out of the video, we'll be talking to singer-songwriter Sam Robbins. So grab your coffee, sit back. The show is going to be super fun. Here he is, Sam Robbins. This song is called Reverence. And then we're going to talk to him in person next.
Well, I was 12 when I held my first pair of drumsticks. Oh, they glowed by my parents' basement lights, and I tore them unbashing on my blue sparkle kit. But I still got them in the drawer in my bedroom closet. And I was 15 when I got my first guitar. Yes, I opened up the case to a cheap red Fender, and I know that it wasn't much, no, just painted plywood. But I took care of it, I cherished it till we both played pretty good. I'm trying to live with some reverence, give some importance, set out with some intent, yes, and be grateful for it all. Appreciate what's given and passed through generations, and realize that nothing is as simple as it seems. Well, I'm trying to have some reverence for what's in front of me. Now I've only had this guitar for a few years. Oh, every scratch on it is mine. Oh, we feel so intertwined. I don't see it as an instrument, it's more like a samurai sword. A lifetime of service, well used and well worn. I'm trying to live with some reverence, give some importance, set out with some intent, yes, and be grateful for it all. Appreciate what's given and passed through generations, realize that trying to live with some reverence, or give some importance, set out with some intent, just to be grateful for it all. Appreciate what's given and passed through generations. Realize that nothing is as simple as it seems. Yeah. I'm trying to have some reverence. Well, I'm trying to have some reverence. Well, I'm trying to have some reverence for what's in front of me.
All right, there he is. How's it going?
How's it going? How are you?
So I'm great. So great to meet you
Yes, great to meet you too.
and have you on Coffee with Todd.
Yes.
I'll have to
I
get
actually
you
don't drink coffee or caffeine of any kind.
Oh, you're
I've
one of those people.
Yes, I've so far avoided it. So I'm destroying the premise of the series here, but
That's okay.
I have my water.
That's okay. I had a cartoonist on a couple of weeks ago that is from the Latter-day Saints, and their religion doesn't drink caffeine at all.
oh, but they
so-
drink soda, right?
Caffeine-free soda.
Oh, really? No caffeine at all?
Nothing. No, not at all.
Oh my God! I see. I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, my grandmother is well, it's Mormon is what we call them, but it's
Yeah.
the Church of the Latter-day Saints. And I didn't know as a kid, I didn't understand why I was always getting caffeine-free Diet Pepsi when I went over there.
Huh?
I just thought that they were being health conscious, but I guess
That's a trip.
it's because they didn't drink caffeine. So I guess what I'm saying is it's not a requirement to be on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Good.
Did you ever drink caffeine or
No.
Oh man, so you're not one of the. A lot of people are cutting caffeine out, but you
Yeah,
just
no, I
never
mean-
introduced it.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny. Earlier this week, I had a scare where I got a seltzer, like it's like sparkling water that I didn't realize was caffeinated, and at like 6 p.m. I drank an entire thing of it, and I literally slept like 2 hours. That happened this week, so it's
no.
I'm like a baby with it.
They put caffeine in seltzer water.
It's
now?
a new. Well, I didn't know. It's like a new
Yeah.
thing. It's a new thing.
I wouldn't
So
know.
yeah.
Why? What's why? What's the point
I don't know.
of that?
I mean, I hate it. I'm scarred by it. You know what I mean?
Now you'll never drink seltzered water again,
Yeah, no. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, God, not from that brand.
right?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty crazy though that you have to look at the label on a water to make sure it doesn't have caffeine in it.
Yeah. Well, and it was caffeine plus, like written on the side and everything. And I was like, come on, man.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I guess White Claw. They're putting alcohol in seltzer.
Yeah.
Caffeine.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I just like
Why not?
coffee. I'm a coffee
Yeah. I
guy.
mean, I think my mom drank a lot of coffee when I was a kid and still does, and you know what I mean, and it just was like it tastes gross. Why would I drink something that tastes bad? That's my general thought on food is like, why would I have it if it tastes bad? So yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you being a folk singer, though, you got to play in a lot of cafes.
Yeah. No, I smell like coffee a lot. Like my hair and stuff, it gets just covered in, you know what I mean, cafes and the coffee houses and all that kind of stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you at least like the smell of it? Because a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the smell of it.
I think everybody that I know that doesn't drink coffee says, "Oh, but I love the smell of it."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess it's just that's an occupational hazard that you have. It's like if you work at a fast food restaurant and you come home smelling like French fries or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I worked at a frozen yogurt place.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, and it was, you would get this smell of like industrial. I don't even know what it is. Like, you know what I mean? This smell, like, you wouldn't like smell like the yogurt, but you smelled like it was like a doctor's office or something. Like there was just this weird smell of it, and I also gained all this weight because I would eat so much yogurt. Anyways, it
Oh
was
my
crazy.
God.
It was great.
I bet. Yeah,
But,
I would not want to work at any food service industry because I like to eat a little bit.
Well, yeah, no, I decided that that was it for me. No, that was it for me. I worked there for like 2 summers. I worked at a lobster pound for 1 day in Portsmouth, and
A lobster pound, is that like where they come off the boat and then
and you like process the lobsters. Yeah.
Oh my. That sounds. Did you have to put the rubber bands on the
I don't know if I did that part. I only worked there for a day, and I hated
Yeah.
it. I loved the guys there. It was great, but you know what I mean. It was like at that point, I say this in shows now. I get my nails done at salons to play guitar now.
Right.
I'm not really fit to be, hauling in giant things of lobster and putting them on the ground and taking the lobster out and throwing. You know what I mean? It's just not. That ain't me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch us. I'm going to do a little magic real quick.
Okay.
All right, we just switched places there.
Okay.
Yeah. Cuz I have this graphic here that goes up on the screen and I don't want it covering you up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't mind covering myself
Chair
up.
is so squeaky, man.
No worries. So I didn't properly introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is singer-songwriter Sam Robbins that is joining us today on Coffee with Todd. He doesn't drink coffee.
Yes.
But he
water with
water. But he said water with Todd.
Yeah.
But he sings songs, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Portsmouth, New Hampshire. That's where you're from, which isn't all that far from us.
Yeah, I mean, how far is it? Probably 3 hours at least, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last time we drove there. Yeah, probably 2.5.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing's real close to where we are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's a different definition when in the Northeast versus this. Like, I'm playing Colorado next month, and it's like just to get out there. It's like from Tennessee, it's like a 20-hour drive or something. You know what I mean? And everything is just like this, everywhere is so spread out to get to any other civilization. It's really strange. It's really strange, but
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that you notice, like, because we're both from the Northeast, so the one thing you notice when you get out of New England, really, is that things are a little more spaced apart, unless you're in a metro area. But, I mean, like, you've driven across Pennsylvania.
yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, yeah, I know. I just did that last week. Actually, I played outside of Philly, and then I played in Pittsburgh, and it was like, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of space here.
There's a lot of space between those two. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love those areas, though. I think those areas are cool. It's interesting when that's one of the things I like about what I do is like I don't, I get to see the real life sometimes, you know what I mean, of different areas. Like, it's not like I'm just going to like the ritzy glam part of blah and like just flying to, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of get to go to like places that you just wouldn't expect, and just off the beaten path. And it's like, where the hell am I? And it's like, I kind of like that adventure aspect of it,
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the country that you've been to so far?
Well, I've only really been doing like this kind of thing, like outside of New England since COVID. I mean, I've gotten a lot of places, but I love Michigan. Has been really cool. That's just like a place that I was like, Michigan, like kind of random, you know what I mean? I've really enjoyed Michigan a lot. And I went to New Orleans. That was really interesting. And like the sort of culture of Louisiana was really interesting to me. Yeah, I love that area. I don't know. They're all great in their own way,
Yeah.
Roanoke is a city that I've loved being in. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like the places where it's like there's some like reality there. You know what I mean? Like there's, you know what I mean? It's not just like, not that I play in places like this really, but it's like, when you're in LA or you're in, which is totally cool, great places, but it's kind of like, this isn't really like real, like, you know what I mean? It's not like, you know, like working people, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get that. What part of Michigan? Like,
Well,
I'm assuming you're not saying Detroit because that's a pretty metro area.
Well, no, I was just in Michigan, and
Yeah.
I played like outside of Detroit, and then I this awesome couple I stayed with. They gave me a 5-hour walking tour and lunch of Michigan, of Detroit. I mean, and then I went like sort of across the state, and I played in Grand Rapids, and then on the East Coast, the West Coast of the state, and just like, man, it's like its own world up there. You know, it's like its own, you know, it's like the different coasts, the mitten, you know, that was really interesting to me. It just seemed like it was its own like self-contained world that was really cool. And it had the similar thing of like Pennsylvania where it was really open, wide open spaces, you know, and these big cities. It was just cool. It was cool. Okay, I'm going to see if my chair doesn't squeak too much. Okay, there we go.
We'll sit still.
Yeah,
this one squeaks too.
Okay,
So
seems like-
Portsmouth, New Hampshire, born and raised, Nashville, Tennessee now.
Yeah.
Why? I assume I know the answer to this, but why Nashville?
I mean, Nashville's. I wanted, because grew up in Portsmouth, and then I went to Berkeley. So I had kind of been in New England forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you know, when you go to Berkeley, a lot of the time it's like everyone moves and they go, I'm gonna move to Nashville, I'm gonna move to LA, I'm gonna move to New York, like that kind of thing. Yeah. And I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to live in LA. I didn't want to live in New York, you know. Mm-hmm. And it seemed interesting. It just seemed like a different kind of place, like just a different, I don't know, just like a different kind of place, a different energy, which is good and bad, and there are aspects of it that I don't really love here, honestly.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time in the Northeast.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's home, right?
Well, it's home, and then it's like, you know, there's so many, like we were talking about, like there's so many places where, you know, I can drive. I count DC almost as the north, like that DC up into Jersey and stuff. Like you can go drive a few hours and you're in a different place, and it's like there's its own, like in Michigan, there's its own thing up there. So you can kind of be up there playing shows, doing all this different stuff up there for months. You know, it's like you can just go on forever. You know.
Yeah. That's the allure for me too. It takes us about 3 hours on a good day to get out of Vermont, but once you're out of Vermont, everything's within a couple hours of each other ish.
Yeah, which is cool. You know, different worlds, and
So how long have you been in Nashville for? Actually, we should say this too. He went to Berkeley College of Music, not the Berkeley out in California.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Berkeley,
you went to
Boston.
school in New England.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What question was I asking you? Oh, Nashville, how long have you been in Nashville for?
Well, I moved here like 6 months before COVID.
Oh.
Which was actually kind of a blessing in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like I think, you know, I moved here, and I think I have a song about it, but I think I wanted to, like, you know, the sort of allure of Nashville and the music industry, and it's like, ooh, the stars are made here, and that whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, I wanted to see, what if I was like a country writer, you know, and you write these country songs and you pitch them and they get picked up by another artist, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I did some of that stuff, and I just like absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
It took me like really actually doing it to realize like it was just this crash landing. Yeah. And 6 months in, I was just like, something needs to change about my life. Like something needs to change about what I'm doing here, because I had played a bunch in New England, but I had no idea about playing outside of New England. You know, and so I felt like I had a second to like reframe my life kind of, and reframe my expectations for myself and my path, which was that was kind of cool. Yeah. You know? That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess 6 months, you'd been there long enough so you didn't feel like you were a stranger in this really unsettling time where everything was up in the air. Like, I don't know. I mean, a foreign place, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I had
you were
certainly
familiar.
gotten something of like a foothold. You know what I mean? It was like, this is the Mexican restaurant I like. This is the, you know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing that it was like, okay, I've gotten enough of an idea of this place that it's not like this crazy out of, where the hell am I kind of place.
Yeah, it would have sucked if it was like a month in or something. And
Yeah, that would have really sucked. I think about that all the time, actually. Or if it was before, if it was before and I didn't know that these, like I feel with everything, it's like you have to do it, and that's how you realize what works and what doesn't, and it would have sucked, like just getting out and being stuck, getting out of college and just being stuck there. Like, I'm very grateful that I had this kind of weird period, and then COVID happened, and I think for everybody it sort of went like, and then went in a different direction,
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
I'm always careful when I talk about this because COVID obviously was devastating for many people.
Yeah.
But for myself, I was fortunate that I know people that have passed from it, but no one real close to me, I suppose. So I always want to preface this by saying I know it was a devastating time for a lot of people, but that few month pause when we didn't go to work at all, or I kind of loved it.
Yeah.
I really did. I don't have any problem sitting in my house and keeping myself company. Oh, I mean, I live with my girlfriend, but I liked that putting the brakes on period.
Yeah. I mean, I think I liked it and also hated it, probably kind of like everyone a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, because
it was terrifying.
Well, yeah, and for me, like that first week, I was planning on going up to New England at the beginning of April or something and playing some shows. Obviously, they didn't happen, but
right.
But my parents were like, you can just come up anyways. Just come up for a little while, like, you know what I mean? Be by the water. Like I was still paying rent and stuff at my place down here, but it was like, just bring a guitar and come up here for a little while. And I did. And it was really interesting because, like, my friends from high school, a lot of them like came back and stayed with their parents for a little while. Yeah. And it was really interesting because it like, I was riding my bike with my friends from middle school and high school. And it was like, whoa.
Wow.
This is trippy. And Portsmouth was a nice place to do it. You could go around the water, it was great, but that was really weird.
Yeah.
And cool, and also just kind of like, yeah, I mean, I think I had a realization. I was talking to this guy I know, and he was saying, Sam, like, you just, because I was trying to do live streams every day. I was trying to play all the time, and he was like, Sam, like, you probably will never get an opportunity like this again. He was like, you just need to, like, just chill. Like, you can't do everything. You can't do it all. And so I made it my mission to beat Super Mario 64. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to beat that game. And so I did. And then I would, write these songs that eventually got onto my album, like during that time.
About beating Super Mario 64?
Well, no, not about that. But certainly it gave me the space and time, where it was kind of like, that's such a part of writing songs is letting go of stuff, letting go of your expectations, letting go. And so that was cool.
Yeah. Wow. So did you go back to Nashville after the lockdown? I hate that word, lockdown. But what other word are you going to use? Quarantine. Let's use the word quarantine. Did you go back after quarantine ended, or did you kind of migrate your way back down prior to all that? Everything open.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of back and forth because it was also like I had this thing in New England that I could play these shows, and I hadn't quite gotten that in Nashville and around, outside of, and so it was like someone asks me to do an outdoor show up in New England. Sure, I'll go up there and spend time up there and do these shows up there. Like I know people there already, so that was kind of interesting.
I haven't been to Nashville since 2007.
Wow.
and I know it's not. I wouldn't even recognize it. I know it's not even the same city, but is it still like there weren't really a lot of places to do proper shows? Like it was open mics, in the rounds, song swaps. Like, but you're not going to a cafe and doing an hour and a half set.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play in Nashville. I very rarely play in Nashville.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So it's still like that then.
Oh yeah, because well, it's like there are more venues like that. I think you know what I mean. There's lots of sort of like rock clubs and just places like that, but at a certain point, like it's good to get out there and network and meet people, but then at a certain point, it's kind of like, okay, I'm only playing for other musicians.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, where does that go? Okay, you can network yourself to death, but like,
right,
you have to actually get in front of like normal, like real audiences and real people.
Yeah, it depends what you're going for, I guess. I mean, if you want to be, I don't know, new country people, Luke Bryan.
Yeah.
If you want to be that.
I think of country in general as like a completely different animal. You know, it's just a completely different animal. Like, all the rules are the rule book for what I do or for, you know what I mean? It's completely thrown out the window for country,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it is a writer's town, man. Like what always amazed me is like, I met this guy that wrote this song called "The Red, White, and Pink Slip Blues," right? And it was like a Rodney Crowell kind of arty song, But he also wrote some massive top 40 hits, like "She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy" kind of stuff.
Really?
And he he sang this song for me. This is a new one I'm trying to get sold, put what they call it, put on hold or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was called "She Chews Tobacco, but She Didn't Choose Me." And it was every bit as horrible as you would expect it would be. And it was kind of disheartening because I knew this guy's true essence as a songwriter, and I knew him just trying to write a hit, and it was kind of heartbreaking. To see him sing a song like that,
That whole aspect of things, like, killed me a little bit, where it was like, there's kind of this really, sometimes I will say, and I don't really know enough about this to really comment on it, so nobody take my thoughts as gospel here, but like, I don't think sometimes I found this very rigid way of writing and this very rigid path that's from country, and country to me kind of has and this is not saying it's bad, it kind of has a path, like a rigid path that you can go down if you want to be a mainstream country artist. Right. And people can deviate from the path, but there is this road that you go down. And it totally works great for a lot of people, but it's very tied in with the industry, like the writing aspect of it. Like, this guy is writing these songs that he really likes, but I struggled with that after COVID happened, and I had been writing these Nashville songs, and I remember I wrote this song called "Satisfied." Can I just play a second of this, actually? This song called "Satisfied." Absolutely. I don't even really remember how to play it, but like, because COVID was happening. I'm not gonna play the whole song right now. I don't even remember it all, but
we'll have you play some whole songs in a few minutes.
But I remember I had been writing these country songs. Hey, country, but like it's great,
It paid the bills, man. If you can get one.
Well, and I got home and I just was like, I had it, and I kind of was into bluegrass, but I wrote this. I wrote this kind of bluegrassy thing. I think, right?
I stand, a born and bred American, living a good life. And I've never been this close to the unknown. And it was like this kind of weird, like, you know, I had like all this sort of licks in there, and it was just this weird little song that I liked it, but this voice in my head was telling me, but that song's not commercial. You know, I was like, that song's not commercial. And so I stopped. I was like not writing it. I stopped, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird that I'm thinking that level of the business is so in my head. And it's like, it's not like I'm out here getting cuts. Like, you know, it would be different if I wrote, she thinks my tractor is sexy. I might be thinking differently about this. But you know what I mean? It's like, it was just kind of interesting. I was like, oh yeah, there's like, and I just try to like lean into that. And that sort of I entered this phase of trying to write like the weirdest songs I possibly could. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about that this morning, actually. Like, I think I overshot it a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, I'm going to write the craziest shit ever. You know, like, just like how weird can it be, you know? And that was like interesting. I kind of was like, I don't need you, Nashville. Like, you know, so I'm going to write this weird stuff, you know?
That's funny. I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you know, looking back now, I'm like, oh, yeah, I could have cleaned that up or so, you know what I mean? I could have, like, that song could have been trimmed or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, don't put your guitar away. We'll have you sing some songs. Before that, though, just you mentioned Berklee College of Music. Did you take Livingston Taylor's class?
I did, actually.
You did? Oh,
yeah, when I was really young, though, like my first year.
Yeah.
So I was like 18.
Livingston.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm actually playing Falcon Ridge, the festival, and I think he's headlining the festival. And I'm playing
he
it
is.
this year. Yeah.
Oh, I'll see you there this year. We'll be there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm excited for that.
So I never had Liv as a teacher, because I didn't go to Berklee College of Music, but I've opened for Liv a lot.
Oh, cool.
And he always critiques me in the green room.
Really?
Every time.
Really?
And and he also remembers if I listen to him or not. Like he gave me a pointer about making sure to really look at the audience, you know, not close your eyes so much, make eye contact, that kind of thing. And then I think there was back-to-back shows. I think it was one Saturday and then the following Saturday. And I didn't do it, and he said, you didn't listen to me.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's funny.
I don't know what kind of teacher. I get the feeling that his class is a wealth of information, but also a hard class to impress the teacher in. Or maybe not. I mean, I don't know.
What I remember of it, I feel like I actually appreciate it more now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think in general, it's like what I was saying with country, where like, and where it's kind of a different thing. Everybody has their own thing, you know, right. and it's hard to have like someone be like, this is what you do. But I think like, you know, if you're Livingston Taylor, like I think about that when I play somewhere.
Oh yeah.
You know, and some of the stuff where it's really looking at people, like he's saying, you know, which I don't do that all the time, and like really pronouncing words and stuff, and being like controlled in the way that you play. Yeah. You know, like really thinking about each note.
Yeah.
Like really trying to be there for each note.
Yeah.
That really matters to me, but like if someone like is like a punk musician, like that doesn't. There's a totally different rule book, you know.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to open for Livingston though.
Oh, you should. It's a great experience. I'll say I've learned more from that guy than I've learned from anybody.
Really?
My girlfriend and I call him affectionately Uncle Liv.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not just talking about music. Like, he sat down and told us how to, like, go over our finances.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was telling Danielle, how much college debt do you have? And she told me, he's like, okay, see, now what you got to do is,
Really?
it's an experience. You got to, we'll get you. I'll give you some contact info. We'll get you.
I was in touch with his manager and agent about possibly at some point, but it didn't work out. I should talk to him again, though. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, do it. He's fun.
Yeah.
Just don't take any of the shows that I have working on with him right now.
No, I won't. Don't worry.
They're all in New England. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, man. That's cool that you took his class, though.
Yeah. No,
it'll be neat for you to talk with him at Falcon Ridge too. Which
I'm hoping that I really get a chance to. He definitely doesn't remember me. It was many years ago.
I don't know. He might.
I don't think I impressed him. Also.
Then maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I impressed him very much, but I mean,
he's got one of those memories that, like, I don't know. You might be surprised. That's cool. So you're on the most wanted. What does Falcon Ridge call it?
Yeah,
most
like
requested,
most wanted song swap.
You're one of America's most wanted.
Most wanted, yes.
There's a poster of Sam Robbins.
See, I didn't even really know that it was like a competition like that until I got there. I don't know why. I had never been to the festival, and so people were telling me like, "Oh, I'm voted for you," and I was like, "Great." I was like,
"Great."
Like, you know, I had never been to the festival, so I didn't know that it was like this big thing like that, and I was like, "Oh," which probably made me play better, honestly, but that was funny.
Yeah, they don't make a real big deal out of because I'm assuming you were the emerging artist showcase. Yeah. It was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed last year. That's too bad. I would have liked to have seen you then, but
it's okay. Well,
we didn't because we were moving. That's why we didn't go to Falcon Ridge last year, because it was just like, we could go that weekend, but we just don't have time, or it was. Yeah. So and it's in a new place now, right? It's in Connecticut, where it used to be in New York.
It used to be in New York, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they don't really make a real big deal out of, like, they have the emerging artist showcase. But to be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever voted for anybody, because I don't know if I know how to vote.
Yeah, it was online.
Oh, okay.
After the festival. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's have you sing a couple songs. Okay. Let's have you sing a couple songs, and we'll do another song. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to make myself disappear, and I'm gonna give you the stage for 2 songs straight.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do the song. I wasn't gonna do this one, but it sort of pertains to what we were saying. This was the song that I tried to write that was really weird, and I wrote it about all that Nashville stuff and sort of frustrations with all of it, and I just tried to write the weirdest song I possibly could, and I made T-shirts with this chorus lyric on them, and they've been my best-selling piece of merch. Yeah, it's on my album too. That I'd missed my shots, and by the time I turned 25, everybody would have forgotten about me and my story, my songs and who I am. I'd fade into obscurity, another guitar playing white man. And I used to stand at the kitchen table and see the Rolling Stone cover stars who just turned 21, 6 or 7 Grammys in their arms. And that world seems so far from me, graduating college at 23,
while they're off living their dreams. Oh, they must be so happy. Oh, well, maybe it's all bullshit, and nobody knows what they're doing. And if I had millions of dollars or a million more fans, I know it wouldn't change a thing about who I am. Da-da-da-da. Now I see it in the faces of my friends and my mom. Time takes everything, there's no use trying to hold on. That doesn't stop some people from trying to cheat the clock, yeah, as if chasing after youth isn't just a lifetime of mourning. Oh, I see that it's all bullshit. Nobody knows what they're doing. And if I had millions of dollars or a Botox injection, it wouldn't change a thing about who I am. No, I'm just a man born and bred in New Hampshire. Long hair, 6'1¾". I'm not my song. I'm not a brand. No, I'm not an image. Yeah. Oh, well, maybe it's all bullshit, and nobody knows what they're doing. If I had millions of dollars and everything I thought I wanted, it wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing, babe. It wouldn't change a thing about who I am.
Yeah, that's my weird song. And that's a hard song to sing when you haven't warmed up that much. What note is that? That's high. I'm gonna do this song. This is a very different song, but this was written again kind of around the same time. And there was a song that I heard called "Hard Times Come Again No More," which you maybe know. And I heard this great version of it, this great fingerstyle version. George Clements, who's from Maine, he did this great version of it, and I retrofitted it to my own playing, and I decided to do what the greats do, and I ripped it off and I wrote my own folk song with it. And it's called "Bigger Than In Between." And it became the title track to my album, "Bigger Than In Between," which came out in August.
Well, I've spent years by the door with untied shoes, counting everything I could lose if I take that first step and my feet don't fly, if I let my fragile dreams break free but die. I feel what my eyes can't see. There must be something bigger than in between. From every life I've ever lived, this is what I've gleaned. There must be something bigger than in between. I felt it in gymnasium dances, in weddings and funerals too. Glowing glowing moments pushing us towards the truth that no matter what we tell ourselves or try to prophesize, no one knows the road back home, but we can read the signs. But I feel what my eyes can't see. There must be something bigger than in between. From every life I've ever lived, this is what I've gleaned. There must be something bigger than in between. And these days I bounce between my phone and my TV screen. A million voices shouting louder and louder at me. I don't know what to say anymore. No, I don't really know what to think. There's so much fear behind everything. But when I walk outside, my neighbors smile at me. I still see the beauty in the new blue sky, and it's so easy to see. There must be something. There's gotta be something. There must be something bigger than in between.
That was beautiful, man.
Thank you. Two very different songs.
Yeah.
Very different songs.
I need to get me one of them t-shirts if you still have some.
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of them.
My audience is very familiar with Hard Times Come Again No More because
I figured.
I have the lyrics taped to my guitar. Yes, sir.
Oh my God, cool.
I
was just floored by that song.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I haven't heard that version though. George Clemens, you said?
Yeah, he's this great singer-songwriter. He plays with his brother. I took lessons with him at COVID. I just love his music, his playing. We have finally met at Folk Alliance this year, and I told him, I was like, man, I have to play some songs with you. I just like I have to play. You know, I wrote that song from his version. You know.
Yeah.
It's such a sweet guitar part, you know.
It's beautiful. I'll have to look him up. I'm not. Is he?
He's great. Clements Brothers.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
You would love them. Sorry.
Yeah. I tape the lyrics on my guitar because we play it often, and I use gaffer's tape, and it's been on that guitar for over a year, and I'm a little worried to rip it off.
Oh my God.
So
I actually had a tape thing happen with this guitar where I taped something to it and it ripped part of the finish off.
Yeah.
That was on there for 20 minutes.
20 minutes? What kind of tape were you using? Like
I don't even know. It wasn't meant to be there for a long time. I was just trying to long story, but basically, yeah, just for a few minutes, and it ripped off pieces. But you know, that's cool.
It's a battle scar. Yeah. I was talking about this last week. It's a tool.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. I mean, I'm like a guitar fanatic. You know, I love guitars.
Me too. We're going to talk about guitars in a little bit, but before we do that, because we're going to geek out in a second. Before that, though, see, I always tell people it's going to be about 45 minutes, and then I always go over because I have so many questions.
That's okay.
But I feel like we need to talk about, because you talked about Nashville, you talked about, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but almost this superficialness of the top 40 songwriting culture in Nashville.
Yeah.
I know that you also were on The Voice.
Oh yeah, very briefly, yeah.
I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it. I'm pretty sure that my girlfriend and I saw you when you were on The Voice, because how long ago was it?
It was like 2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because we stopped watching shortly after that. I remember, yeah, I know we saw you, because if I can remember that time, I was really mad that they didn't get the importance of Jim Croce. Because I went back and watched it again yesterday or something like that, just to be like, did I see Sam when he was on there? I think I did, but I remember them saying like, oh, it wasn't big enough, or it didn't have this climax with 7,000 notes and, you know, Mariah Carey flying all at your face. And
Yeah.
and I always tell people that that's not necessarily music, it's gymnastics. So
Yeah,
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on being a contestant on The Voice.
I mean, I think that was the start of my like bullshit journey. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you know, whether or not it's gymnastics or not, like, I think it was me realizing that like everybody has this different path, you know, and that like
Sure.
those kind of shows and like the media as we've thought of it in the past 20, 30 years, well, no, in the past 100 years of recorded music, like pushing this narrative of like this big music industry that everyone has to fit into. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that way anymore, you know? And so like for me to do, you know, the girl before me, I remember she did an Ariana Grande song, you know, and it was, which is great, you know, it's great music. I like Ariana Grande a lot, you know, and like she was great, and it was like those crazy, like, you know, runs and all these gymnastics, and then, you know, I get up there and I go, you know what I mean? It like, yeah, that doesn't really set you up well, you know, but it's like Jim Croce was not someone that would be on a reality TV show, you know, and the guys I like, they wouldn't be, you know, because it's like they're folk singers, you know, and folk singers are different than pop singers, but they've had pop success in the way that Jim Croce, James Taylor, those guys have, but they're not really like, it's not like the natural environment for them to be in,
Right.
you know, and that's why we were talking earlier. I almost feel kind of bad for Bob Dylan sometimes. Like, I don't really, obviously he's fine, but like,
He did all right.
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah. And like, if I had $300 million for my songs, I'd feel okay. But you know, like, it's like, he entered. He's a folk singer. You know, how many roads must a man walk down? You know, all that stuff. Like, I love that stuff. And he's a folk singer who entered the pop arena.
Yeah.
And then had success, and it's put him in this kind of weird. Like, I imagine if I had a pop #1 song right now, like, you know, it would be, I'm sorry, I'm gonna rant about this.
Go for it.
Like, if I had a pop #1 hit song right now, it would be kind of weird. Like, it would, and not that I would not accept it or something, but like, it would put me in this weird place, I think, a little bit. And I see that sometimes in Nashville, where people have something that goes viral, or they do something and it sort of puts them here, like, you know, this high place, but they don't really have this, they haven't built up to that point yet.
Right.
And so everything is out of whack a little bit. You know, like Bob Dylan is suddenly a celebrity. His music is being promoted by his celebrity instead of his, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
It is very weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, I always love the argument whenever somebody says, "Oh, Bob Dylan is not a good singer," because I will defend him. Maybe not now, but Bob Dylan was a good singer. That's just his voice, and he obviously embellished it a little bit. But Bob Dylan wasn't singing flat notes and going sharp. Like, it's right on the money. You just you can't say he wasn't a good singer. You have to say, I don't like his voice, because he's a good singer. Or he was a good singer. I've seen him recently. He's not a good singer anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like this great quote about like visual art that I heard someone say that I just love so much, is like this argument when it's people say, that's not art. I could do that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then, but you didn't do that.
Yeah, but yeah, right.
You didn't.
Well, do it.
Yeah, and so it's like it's the same thing where people are like, Bob Dylan isn't good, like, but you know, that video of him. Have you seen that video of him on YouTube? Doing Tangled Up in Blue, where it's like this zooming in on his face, and it's like painted face.
Yep. Yep.
Like, you know, that video, like you get up there and who could do that? And his delivery. Early one morning, the sun was shining, I was lying in bed. Like, you know what I mean? He's so in it, and like the delivery is so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's, you know, when people say he's not a good singer, it's like, that's not, you're thinking of it in, all music is this one umbrella. He's great at what he does.
Yeah,
is Mariah Carey a better singer than he is, quote unquote? Yeah. Technically, but not really. Like, it doesn't, you know. Right. I would rather listen to Bob Dylan than Mariah Carey. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I would too. Yeah. Have you seen the Rolling Thunder review on Netflix?
I have not.
So it's Martin Scorsese. That's where that video comes from.
Really?
It is, yeah. So it was a tour that Dylan did in his late 30s. And he had like Joan Baez and all these different people on the road with him. And they all wore makeup on their faces and dressed in these costumes. And they played small-ish theaters, 2,000-seat theaters versus stadiums. And it was called the Rolling Thunder Review.
Huh.
It's awesome. It's long. It's like 4 hours long or something.
Wow.
But it's totally worth the watch. It's
okay.
Yeah. Of course I love Bob Dylan, so Yeah. But yeah. That was a pretty good Tangled Up in Blue from that era of Dylan impersonation, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his music was one of the first, thing. I remember when I first heard like and when you used to cruise these chords.
Yeah.
Look out your window. And this chord. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That just ripped my head off. I was like 15.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I could probably talk about him all day.
Yeah.
I'm quite a bit older than you. How old are you?
26.
Yeah, I'm a lot a bit older than you. But same idea. I was about 15 when I discovered Bob Dylan.
Oh, cool.
And for me, I was playing in alternative rock bands. We were, Nirvana, Green Day, Rage Against the Machine, that kind of stuff. I was in this band where I just and
yeah. I
moshed and
I played drums in a punk band.
Right on. Yeah. All right. See, all the real punks go to folk at some point.
Yeah. Well, it's like Bob Dylan is like a punk guy, like.
Yeah. My dad had like the greatest hits of Bob Dylan, volume 2 or something. When I was a kid, I didn't get it, but in the midst of the punk days, I bought the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, and I was like, what? And then I personally, I love all of Bob Dylan, but I love his pre-electric stuff the most.
Yeah, no, me too.
Love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and there were just these lyrics that just grabbed me. Like, for some reason, I like, what? When he goes, go to him now, he calls you. You can't refuse. Like, I remember when I first heard that, I was like, it's his delivery of it is so good. Go to him now, he calls you. You can't refuse. When you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose. Like that. Oh, yeah. I was like, God.
Yeah.
What a beast.
He's so good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So I still want to hear one more song from you. So we won't rip on the voice too much.
Yeah.
But it must have been weird. What was it like though? Because you didn't get the chair turnaround.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that feeling like? Were you mad? Were you expecting it?
It was awful. Yeah. Well, because how it works is that they have people go in chunks so it's like 4 or 5 days of auditions, and
Okay.
like I think it's like 18 people go each day, and so it's kind of like if you go on the 4th day, that means your chances are not very good, of getting in. And I was on the 1st day, and so I was one of 2 people that didn't get in on the 1st day, and so you go to an after party, and you and one person are the only people that didn't get in.
Oh my God.
And it was, I mean, and I think it was, I was much younger, I was like 20.
Yeah.
And I was really lost still, like trying to figure out what my path was. Like I knew I liked folk music, but I had played in New England. I was still playing kind of bar cover gigs mostly. And I was just lost. And this was kind of like a shot, when I'm realizing it's really not at all. At all. I mean, it does nothing basically for you,
not anymore.
Yeah, maybe like 20 years ago, I think it was, you know. But that's when media was much more, everybody watched American Idol. Now it's like, I have this thing, the phone. Why would I ever watch The Voice? You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
why would I ever watch any of those shows? I'll watch TikTok. I'll follow someone that has 1,000 followers that I love their music. Why would I watch the big star? It doesn't matter,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. So that was the general takeaway from that, was like, I was so sad, and then I got home, and it was like, it didn't matter. It did very little, and it does very little, I think, in general, unless you're country. Country is a different thing, but like...
Yeah. But did you did you use it? Like when you were booking yourself? Did you say,
and like
as,
it's on my
as seen
website
on The
still.
Voice or whatever? Yeah.
And I'm proud that I did, a Jim Croce song. Like it sort of represented me,
Yeah.
That was cool. Like it feels good that I did that.
I'm
but-
glad you did. I always perk up when somebody does something like that versus something really top 40ish or sings Hallelujah. I love Leonard Cohen, but stop.
I know.
That song, right? I only know 2 people that have been on The Voice, you and Rebecca Lobe.
Oh yeah, Rebecca, I know her.
Yeah, you're the only 2 people I know that have been on The Voice.
Well, she did really well on The Voice, didn't she? Wasn't she like at the very beginning or something?
She was in like one of the first, maybe the first season. She got through the chair turnaround round. I don't believe she got past that. I think she lost her next battle.
Oh.
There's the problem with The Voice right there.
Yeah.
It's a competition for one.
Well, yeah, and
Art's not really a competition.
Well, it promotes this idea, which it used to be more true, I think, where it was like, there's only a limited amount of slots, in the music industry.
Right.
But it's like, no, it's not like that anymore. There's room for everybody,
Yeah. I mean, you're making a living doing...
Yeah, and I'm like nobody in terms of fame, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's possible,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, I think Rebecca, she lost the knockout round or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think she worked with Adam Levine for like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And he gave her advice that was about as good as you would expect Adam Levine to give.
Well, yeah, it's like
advice to
Adam
somebody.
Levine. I mean, that's how I tell people all the time. Of like this from my hometown came to Nashville, and I got lunch with him this weekend, and I was telling him like, man, I have no real advice for you, because it's like whatever I do and have done that works for me is totally different than what's going to work for you. And it's like, trying to give people like super specific. It's like the Livingston thing. Like, I would take advice from Livingston now as me playing these kind of shows, but like as in a rock punk band or something, it doesn't really make
It doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work, but I don't know. I still love Livingston though.
I do too. We call him Uncle Liv.
Uncle Liv.
Yeah,
Liv.
we're gonna see him 3 or 4 times this summer, so I'm
cool.
excited. Yeah. One of them is even going to be here in Vermont. I haven't announced it on this show yet, but it's coming up in June.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, cool.
Let's talk guitars, and then I'll have you sing another song, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. So, So I'm a pretty big guitar geek, especially acoustic
Yeah.
guitars.
Yeah, me too.
But one of my viewers that watched Coffee with Todd the other day, I played your video. I played Reverence on Coffee with Todd last week, and he asked a question about your tuning, and I said, "Oh, we'll ask that question because this is my favorite part of the interview where we get to talk about guitars and tunings." So
Yeah.
so for him, if he's watching, are you in an open tuning on that song?
So yeah, I am. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. So it's actually this guitar, which is it's a Rain song.
Yes,
guitar.
I'm totally asking you about that guitar. I wonder if I can make you. What if I do this? I go back here. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna be able to see your guitar better that way.
So it's a Rain song jumbo, and I love it. So it's carbon fiber. And so that tuning, I have the guitar set up so that the saddle is really high. And so I have it tuned really low. So it's dadgad, but like a whole step down.
Okay,
it's-
so like
it's
the C?
C dadgad, you know? You know? Oh wait, no, I have it wrong. You know, and it just has this chunky like that I just love so much. You know, it's just
Yeah.
got a lot of bass. It's awesome.
So is that guitar? You have it set up specifically to be tuned down, like
Yeah.
a full step.
Or more, yeah,
Or
yeah.
more.
Like I just have it really, really low. So I'll do that song actually after this. Like I have a song where I have it tuned down to B flat. Songs where I tune this down to an A.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's like some Peter Mulvey stuff, huh?
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
well, it's inspired by David Wilcox hugely.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But did you is your other guitar in standard then?
Yeah,
Or
so I play a half step down generally.
half step. Okay.
But yeah, it's in standard. You know what I mean? It's in standard a half step down though, you know. So it's standard shapes.
So familiar shapes for
Yeah, familiar shapes, but just a half step. It just gives the like a little softer touch, you know.
Do you use 12s or do you go up
Yeah,
to
I use
medium?
12s, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one
that's right.
on the Rain song I used mediums.
Yeah, you would have to if you're going that low, right?
Yeah, I mean I actually had heavy strings for a while.
Oh, really?
Which
like
is-
14s or
Yeah,
whatever?
which was just too much, kind of. But
That's a lot.
yeah, it was a lot.
I tune down a full step.
Oh, really?
All the time, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just like having it.
But then I capo on the second fret all the time, so how smart am I?
Yeah. Well, it gives it just a little softness though.
It does. It gives it a lot of body or a lot of resonance that you can't get in standard tuning.
Yeah. I actually just got a new guitar. I got a 0028 Sunburst that I got used in Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm getting it set up right now, and I'm excited to see how it like sort of feels, you know. Because this guitar is also really weird. It's a 12 fret.
I was going to ask you, that's a Martin, right?
Yeah, this is a really interesting guitar actually, because this was Groon guitars in Nashville.
Yeah.
So I got this guitar actually at Carter Vintage Guitars a few months after I moved here.
Okay.
And it's this thing called Sinker mahogany. And so it's this mahogany that was from like rivers in Belize. You know what I mean? That were pulled up. So it's this old growth mahogany, and I just love it.
It's beautiful.
and
Can
it
I
has
see?
a-
Can I see the back of that again?
Yeah. And it has a really wide fretboard, which I love.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love the wide fretboard because I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That I just love. It helps to just have that little space there.
Yeah. Is it like a 1 3/4 inch?
A 1 7/8 actually.
1 7/8. All right.
Yeah, it's very wide.
This guitar that I have here is 1 7/8, but every other guitar I have is 1 3/4, and I have to recondition my fingers.
I know.
If I haven't, because you wouldn't think that that's a big jump, but
It is, and it's also this neck is a lot flatter too.
yeah.
But
I didn't know Martin made a 1 7/8.
Yeah, I think some of their 12 fret models are like that. I think,
Wow.
but what's cool about this too is that it's a custom made for Gruen guitars, and it's
Okay.
called a quadrupolo. So
Quadrupolo.
Yeah, so it's like a little bit wider here, so you can get really
Yeah.
big, and you can get this like.
Yeah, because on a 12 fret, that's interesting for a 12 fret.
Yeah, that was my thing is that it's so versatile, because I have songs where I go. And then I have songs like that one I played before.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you miss the 2 extra frets? At all?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why I have that triple O now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I miss that. Yeah, because
I
yeah, it's a little annoying sometimes, honestly.
especially when you're capoing, right?
Yeah, because once I capo above the 5th fret, it's like, eh.
Yeah. I have a Taylor that's a 12 fret with a slotted headstock and everything.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it because it had a slotted headstock and because it was a 12 fret. And this is before I started tuning down a full step. So now songs that I wrote with a capo on the 3rd fret are on the 5th fret if I want to sing it in the same key. And it's oh man.
Yeah, and then it's that's why that triple O I'm going to be using a little more because I'm doing some stuff, some arrangements for this album, and it's like there's one song that it's up here, and it's when you get, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah, but there's something about the resonance of a 12-string guitar, in relationship to where the bridge is glued onto the body, and
that's what I've heard. Yeah. That this guitar I knew nothing about it at all, and I just picked it up and it was I just was like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still feel that way,
It's beautiful sounding.
And
so it's a Martin quadruple O.
Yes, it's called a quadrupolo 18S.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sinker S.
Yeah.
Or spruce. What's the top?
Sinker. The top is Adirondack spruce.
It is okay. So it's not a full mahogany.
No, but it's just it looks kind of like it, but it's spruce mahogany, and then
I love that guitar. That's funny, but yeah, the 12 fret thing is a little I don't know. I was complaining about it, and somebody said, "Well, get a cutaway," and I'm like, "No."
I know.
Acoustic guitars don't have cutaways.
Well, you know what? I'm actually someone's building me a guitar right now, which is really exciting, and it's basically a Loudon sort of style.
Okay.
And I was like, it works with the cutaway. It's one of the rare guitars that I kind of think it works with the cutaway, and so he's building it for me in the next few months, and he sent me a picture of it. But
okay, yeah. I mean, Ellis's Taylor.
Oh yeah, I played that thing. Yeah,
that works as a cutaway.
Yeah, it's just a design thing. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it just looks like it's whoa, I hate cutaways normally. actually.
I do too.
Yeah, I hate them. And I'm just me being pretentious. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but I feel like you're a folk troubadour, so to keep that tradition alive, you're allowed to be pretentious a little bit.
yeah,
Because like Paul Reed Smith should not be making an acoustic guitar, and I know they're nice, but
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
That's a beautiful guitar. The Rain Song I'm real curious about because I've been researching carbon fiber guitars so like when you fly you don't have to freak out quite as much.
Yeah.
Is that why you got the Rain Song or no?
I got it because I actually had a Guild Jumbo. I had a Guild Jumbo because I have these songs like that one where it's really low and like. Oh wait. Like I have these really low tune songs, and you know. I may not always love you. You know where.
Yeah.
And the Guild, I would change tuning so much that when the neck is made of wood, it just tilts it ever so slightly. And I had to get it set up once every like 3 months.
Oh man.
You know, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And so this thing is like a bionic machine. You know what I mean? And so it can kind of do anything, you know.
How because we're listening over the internet, so like sound wise, how would you compare it to a wooden acoustic guitar? I've never heard one in person. I've always heard them on the internet. It sounds beautiful from where I'm sitting.
You wouldn't really notice any sort of difference. I mean, the thing is, I think, is that it just feels different.
Does it really?
Yeah, like it because it's all one piece of carbon fiber. So like the neck is the same material as the body. It all feels, and they're a little like soulless. Like this one feels a little more like a Tool. You know what I mean? Because they all sound the same.
Right.
They all, you know what I mean? So it's like. Something keeps vibrating.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That's weird. But, yeah, it vibrates a lot. I mean, it's really.
You feel it up against your body, like resonate?
Yeah. I gotta figure out what's making that noise, though.
Yeah, right? It's not like your headphone cable. Or
Oh,
anything.
it could be. It totally could be, yeah.
How do you like when you travel with it? Like, I mean, you don't have to worry about like humidity. You don't have to worry
Nothing,
about.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great. You can just like leave it in the car if you're in a hot place. Doesn't matter. You know, that's been the greatest thing. But I'm using it less and less these days, honestly.
Yeah. Do you, like when you're on the road, you drive most of the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So bringing more than one guitar with you is not a big deal.
Not
But
an
if-
issue at
But
all,
if you're
yeah.
flying,
Yeah, I mean, I think probably when I'm flying more for gigs, which I'm not doing as much right now, like I'll probably just bring the one guitar, the Martin. Like this one, you know, it's more for the tunings is why I like the carbon fiber thing. I never have to worry about it. I mean, it like you could hammer in a nail with this thing, you know.
huh? What's the? Is it a 1 3/4 inch nut or is it?
I think so.
Yeah. It looks like it might be. I was looking at Close Guitars, KLOS.
I don't know.
They make carbon fiber guitars that the neck comes off of so it fits in a backpack.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Man,
And
I was
really
just at. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I really, really want one, but they only make it with 1 1/16. They do not make
really?
a 1 3/4, and I will not buy it.
Really?
No,
Man,
I'm also left-handed, so
Oh.
there's that thing. But I'm holding out for them to make a 1 3/4, or I'm gonna go to Rain Song. But
Well, you know, I played. I guess this isn't carbon fiber, but I was at Elderly Instruments
Yeah.
in Michigan. I'm doing a workshop there and a show there. It just
You
got
are?
confirmed yesterday.
I didn't know they did that.
I know, it's cool. But I was there a few weeks ago, and I played, a $35,000 1930 OM28, all this crazy stuff. And then they showed me a backpack guitar that the neck comes off, and it was my favorite guitar in the whole room.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. It's like
It just-
$1,000. It was bizarre.
What do you know the brand?
I forget the brand, but it was great.
Because I really want a guitar that if I fly, I can just throw it in the overhead compartment. I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, Rain Song, man, that's a beautiful sounding guitar.
Yeah, I love it. I don't use it as much as I used to. I'll play that song. I'll play a song that I really use it for.
All right, perfect. That sounds good. Well, we'll wrap the interview up anyway, but we'll have you play a song and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
I do want to say though that you're a hell of a guitarist.
No, thanks.
You're one of those guitarists that like I watch play guitar and then I look at my guitar and I'm like, why don't you do that?
Oh, it's just
What?
a different thing. You know what I mean? It's like.
Like we went to see Tommy Emmanuel in
my
Burlington,
God.
Vermont, and we were in the third row, and it was the most amazing thing ever. And then I I remember walking up Church Street after going, well, I'm just gonna throw my guitar away.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
'Cause
well, I've actually
if-
been. Sorry.
I was just gonna say if that's playing guitar, then I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I've been diving into his stuff a lot, actually.
Yeah?
Just like learning stuff from him. And it's interesting because I think like once you get into the song, it's really not quite as bad as it looks. Like,
Yeah.
well, it's not bad, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like. His song Angelina.
Yeah.
Like, I realize he's just kind of getting this groove. And once you kind of learn that groove, like, the whole song is just there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can kind of lock in with it.
Huh.
That's actually my workshop at Elderly is going to be like, because I used to be a drummer, you know what I mean? So it was like how you can incorporate like like making sure you have a really good groove and how you can incorporate that in the songs, and it just opens everything up,
That's cool. That would be. Are they gonna do that? They gonna live stream that by any chance, or?
I don't know. That'd be cool. I could maybe live stream it. That's a good idea, actually.
I would like to watch it. I watched the interview of a podcast you did with a guy. I think it might have been in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And you were talking about how you were a drummer before, and then he talked about something with like acoustic guitar and that not really being a percussion instrument. And I'm thinking, yes, it is.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're not an acoustic guitarist, I guess I think of the acoustic guitar as a percussion instrument.
Yeah.
It's like with strings on it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like, that's how you, like, how you write songs, like,
Right? Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, boo, ba, doo, da, doo, da, doo, da. You know what I mean? That's how I'm thinking of it. Like, yeah, I don't know. And then everything else, like, I still think of myself as a drummer, really, more than a guitar player. It's funny, but.
Do you really?
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Do you play drums on your album?
No, I don't play drums at all anymore, but I just think of myself as a drummer, kind of. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it was such an ingrained piece of me, Like, when people say, like, oh, you're a good guitar player, I'm kind of like, really? Like, it's just sort of like, it's not even part of my... It's weird. It's weird to think of it like that.
Yeah, but you are very good.
Thanks, man.
And maybe that's why, because a lot of... I took a workshop with Vance Gilbert one time, and he was trying to emphasize the importance of keeping time. And my favorite quote of his is like, all these folk singers play in folk standard time, And he was just like, he would make people like only strum the 1 and the 4 or something. He would like, or he would take their hand away and put it behind their back, and he would just go like this as they changed chords, because he was like, that matters more than all the other stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, literally more than anything. Yeah.
It was really neat. But yeah, folk standard time. So now when I see a musician that their time could be best spent sitting down with a metronome, I think of folk standard.
That's hilarious. I'm using that in the workshop.
Do it. Yeah. It's from Vance Gilbert though, so.
Yeah, well, I won't be giving anyone credit. I'll be
don't.
Say, think of this genius idea.
Yeah. Cool. Let's have you do another song, and then we'll let you get back to your morning in Nashville.
Yes.
Of writing country songs about dirt roads.
Yeah, I gotta go write a song about chew.
Yeah.
She chews tobacco, but she don't chew. She doesn't
choose me.
She won't choose me. Yeah.
And make sure you talk about like beer, and just name drop a classic country singer that you don't even listen to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got to do that.
Yeah, I'm a huge, Yeah, never mind. I need to get.
I love Porter Wagner.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I've been waiting for this interview for a while, longer than you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, let's have you sing another song, and then we always do a virtual cheers.
Okay,
so.
Great.
Yeah.
Of my water, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is my this is a guitar song for the players. This is a song that I wrote right when I wrote those other 2 songs, actually. And it's an interesting one because I put the guitar in a crazy tuning. I tuned the A string, the E string down to be a B flat. And I got this partial capo from a guy in Maine. And so it only covers 3 of the strings. It's called a flip capo. I love this thing. And I wrote this crazy song where I tried to play guitar and bass at the same time. It's called All the Pieces Are There, and it's on the album. I've got a car in the driveway. I've got fresh food in the fridge. I'm out living my life my way. I get to play and sing. I've got a couple thousand friends, at least on the internet. I've got a Martin guitar. I've got a beautiful girlfriend. Yes, I see it all makes sense. So why do I still end up dreaming about wide open space? And when I look in the mirror, sometimes I want someone else's face. And when it all fits together, that's when I get scared. 'Cause it gets easy to fall apart when all the pieces are there. When all the pieces are there. And once I get started, I'm like a snowball on a hill, and I can only tell the incline by my level of guilt.
'Cause what does it say that I'm crying when I've got it so good? Why is it easy to see the negative space right when the painting is finished? Yes, I see it all makes sense. So why do I still end up dreaming about wide open space? And when I look in the mirror, sometimes I want someone else's face. And when it all fits together, that's when I get scared. 'Cause it gets easy to fall apart when all the pieces are there. When all the pieces are there. I've got a car in the driveway. I've got fresh food in the fridge. I'm out living my life my way. I get to play and to sing.
That's my crazy song.
That's fantastic.
Thanks.
I love the idea of playing the bass with
yeah.
with the flip capo.
And it's having the rain song, you can go really low like that.
Yeah, that's what'd you say it was B?
B flat.
B flat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. It's
That's
fun.
amazing. Now that flip capo, the flip of it is a full capo?
So the flip is a 4-string capo.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, Liberty flip capos. They're really cool.
Do they make one that does 5 strings on one end?
Yeah,
Or?
I think he
Yeah?
makes it like it's just a guy making them, and he makes them with all manner of different ones. You know.
I gotta check it out, man, because I don't do anything quite as cool as that, but I do the
Extreme is that?
yeah, it's extreme, man. But
Yeah.
no, I do the one where I leave the low E string open and capo on the 2nd fret or the 4th fret. And I've had the shub capo, the rubber part come off during a show.
Really?
And the capo fall. Yes. It's
Yes. I have that same capo, so that's
yeah, they're great, but I think it was just I don't know if it was the lights from the stage.
Oh.
Or what? It was it just fell off, and and I was going to an E minor chord, but it ended up being like if you play a E minor chord on the 4th fret. Yeah,
Everyone loved it. Everyone.
it's It was
Yeah.
freaking. I mean, I put it into this. Oh, actually, I'll tell you this story. So, it was. I was opening for Livingston Taylor. It was in Massachusetts. It was in an old warehouse that was converted into a performance space.
Wow.
And I was out in the lobby during Livingston's set, and this lady came up to me. I guess she was going to the bathroom, and she's like, "I think the ghosts were messing with you." And I said, "What?" And she goes, "Oh, this place is haunted."
Really?
And I'm like, "What?"
Oh, God.
And I mean, it wasn't. The rubber just fell off. But she told me the story of they used to make stationery in that building, and a bunch of people died in it, and they swear that it's haunted still. And but she was convinced that the ghost came up and just ripped the capo off.
Why not? It makes as much sense as anything, you know?
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been so careless as to not screw it on tight enough.
That's funny.
Yeah. But I'm interested in the flip capo. So they can customize it. Like if you want it to just cover one string, they would do that.
I think he makes a bunch of different varieties of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's fun, man. I love it. That's a great tune. I dig it, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's weird. It's like not one of my like favorite written songs, but it's fun to play, you know.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna see you. We'll make a point to find you at Falcon Ridge this year.
Totally. I'll be there all weekend. So
nice. Yeah, I don't know when we're going yet. We've in the past volunteered. We've done the gate. I don't know if we're gonna do that this year. I'm submitting for the emergent artist thing, but you know, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
But if not,
I mean,
maybe I'll be at the gate. Maybe we'll just come for the day. I'm not really sure.
Cool. Well, I'll see you there then.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So you've never been to Falcon Ridge before?
I went last year for the day.
For the day.
Yeah.
But you weren't ever there before.
No.
The reason I ask is there was this person that looks a little bit like you, that would just sit over by a tree a lot back when it was in New York and play the guitar, and he would play a lot of Tommy Emmanuel songs.
No.
And I didn't know. I in the back of my mind, I always thought maybe that was Sam when he was younger.
Oh my God, no, that would have been cool though.
It wasn't
cool, but
though.
No.
So you have what do they call it? A doppelganger?
Doppelganger. A
Doppelganger.
Tree-sitting, guitar-playing doppelganger.
He's there, man. You'll see him.
I'll see him, and I'll introduce myself.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You'll be like, he did. But he was young. I mean, he was probably 13 or 14 a few years ago, so he's quite a bit younger than you, but not much.
Yeah.
I'm old. Look at all these grays in here.
You're not that old, don't worry.
Cool, man. Well, hey, I'm so happy you're on the show. If you do end up live streaming that workshop, I'll totally watch it.
Yeah, I'll let you know. That'd be cool. There's got to be a way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't honestly know the elderly music. I thought they were just like online. Like I didn't know I thought they were like Sweetwater or something.
No, they're huge online, but they have a store that's a really great store.
Huh.
Yeah. And I was just in there and I talked to this guy and he said, "Oh, we do shows here if you ever want to do a show." And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Where are they?
Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. Groovy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, are you in New England at all? That near-ish Vermont? We could.
I'm playing is Solarfest.
I've heard of this.
I think it's in like Brandon, Vermont, or something.
Yeah.
Let me look it up because with the Falcon Ridge Most Wanted thing, we're doing a tour. A tour that the four of us and it's July 15th, Brandon, Vermont. Yep.
How far away is that? That sounds so. Brandon, Vermont. How far away are you? Oh, you're quite a ways away.
Oh, really?
Everything's far away
far
from
you, yeah.
That's going to be down by Killington. Well, that's close. I mean, we could make the trip.
It's going to be, interesting.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll get you closer to real Vermont one of these days.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
That's fake Vermont.
Yeah. That's what people say about New Hampshire to me. That's what I say about it.
Well, hey, man, you want to do a
cheers.
Virtual cheers?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show,
for having me. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right, have a good one.
All right. Aha, Sam Robbins. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Good show. He's a great guitarist, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I'm so jealous of his guitar skills. I need to practice. I need to practice really bad. All right, hey, it's damn near 11:15. I think the show has gone on plenty long. So, what do you say we wrap this up and we get ourselves some breakfast?
Yeah.
I can't help myself when I get yapping with other musicians or other cartoonists or whatever. I like yapping. That's my thing. All right, hey, guess what? We'll see you guys next week. Next week it'll be just us and Danielle. It'll just be you, me, and the three. And we'll sing some songs. And I've got some more interviews in the works. They're not buttoned up yet, so I can't tell you who they are exactly. And I got some shows coming up that were in the works on wrapping up too. So stay tuned. We'll have more of it. So we will see you guys next week. Until then, be safe, be well. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Sam Robbins for being my guest. Don't forget, you can check him out on his website, Sam Robbins Music. Well.
Yeah.
.com.
There it is.
Jeez Louise. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Go enjoy it, shall you? Have some breakfast. That's what Danielle and I are doing. Cheers, everybody.